Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Xeno, the personification of a cry for help, and we are back with more promises to keep. We are going to be finishing up Ollie's route. And, I don't want to let him go. He's my favorite character. You all know this. You know what? Let's just continue. So the last thing we left off on, Ollie has a really fucked up backstory. Well, not necessarily fucked up as abuse or anything. Well, there was a lot of like emotional abuse going on in his life, being misinterpreted and everything. It's really tragic, and it seemed to affect Leo a lot more than any of the other backstories did to him. So I have a feeling that Leo has a similar type of backstory, has a similar connection to Ollie. That's my theory. But yeah, no, that was insane. That was an insane dream sequence. I really did enjoy that. But anyway, let's continue onwards. In what feels like an instant, I return to the world. It's daytime! I pinch myself once, hard, on the back of my paw. Ow. Definitely not a dream. The sunlight filters softly through the blinds, gently caressing my adjusting eyes. I shift slightly in bed, stretching my stiff legs and arms. My joints snap, crackle, and pop, Rice Krispies. What did Ollie say about the slow funeral march to 30? I sit up against the headboard and take in the room. The dino himself is nowhere to be found, but I spy a single post-it note stuck on the bedside table, alongside a toasted bagel with butter and a tall glass of orange juice. Went downstairs for lunch. Ollie. Heart. The little heart looks drawn over and indents the paper, like he struggled to get it exactly right. What a sweet boy. Wait a minute, lunch? I searched the latest for my phone and checked the time. 3:30 p.m. Holy shit. I have slept most of the day away. I stretch again, arching my back and rolling my neck, chasing the stiffness of slumber away. I think I needed this more than I realized. My stomach grumbles, grumpily reminding me of something else I need. I tear into the bed with abandon, doing my best to keep crumbs out of Ollie's bed. It's a little stale from sitting out so long, but I hardly even notice. Taking a long gulp of the sweet, tart juice, I adjust the blinds, letting more of the sparkling daylight into the room. It is still snowing, but lighter than before, and the bright white blanket amplifies the watery sun struggling to break through the clouds. As my senses adjust to the waking world, I hear indistinct voices and sounds coming from the old radiator next to the computer desk. The voices are too muffled to hear what they're saying, but I recognize Ollie and Rofi, along with the clattering of dishes and the running of the sink. The gentle noises must travel up through the heating system. That's kinda nice, actually. Even if you stay in this little bedroom, you can still keep track of the goings-on happening in the house. I begin to see why Ollie lighted up here. As if on cue, the sound of his soft, tinkling laughter floats up through the radiator. Ugh, I love his little laugh. Okay, Leo, let's go rejoin society. I take a moment to gather myself, slipping my phone into my pocket and devouring the last of the bagel. Maybe there's still time for me to help with lunch. Not that they'll let me, but I can at least offer. After one final deep breath, I twist the handle and pull open the door. The upstairs hallway is quiet, and all the doors are shut. Maybe I'm not the last one awake after all. Unlikely. I gently pad down the stairs and head towards the kitchen. And there they are! Leo, you're awake! Before I can answer him, the dog hits me with a flying hug. Oof! I am for now, but another one of those hugs might knock me out again. Over the top of Rofi's fluffy head, I can see Ollie holding back a giggle. He looks happy, if a little tired, clutching a steaming mug of coffee. Probably not his first of the day. Rofi pulls away and gives me the once-over, clearly checking to see if I'm hurt. He must have heard about last night. I was starting to get a little worried, that's all. Did you sleep well? Like a rock. I guess some things never change, huh? Anyway, come here, have a seat. Let's get you some lunch. I can help if you need. No, that will not be necessary. Ollie and I already took care of it. It's nothing fancy, just grilled cheese and tomato soup, but it's always been one of my favorite winter meals, so... My stomach growls again, heedless of its earlier conquests. That sounds perfect, actually. Then sit! Let me pamper you a little, okay? Please? Okay, I'll sit, but only if you two sit with me. Deal! Of course. Ollie lumps another spoonful of sugar into his mug while Rofi busies himself with the soup. Immediately after I settle into one of the chairs, the savory smell hits me like one of Rofi's hugs. This is gonna be so good. I'm so excited. You should be! I've had a ton already and it's delicious. That doesn't surprise me at all. What doesn't? That's delicious or that he's already had a ton? Both. Hilarious, Leo. Thank you. I turn to Ollie. And thank you for breakfast, Ollie. The Dino looks up from his phone with a gentle smile. I wasn't sure when you'd wake up or how hungry you'd be, so I kept it simple. It was perfect. Good, I'm glad. Ta-da! The dog sets a steaming bowl of savory soup in front of me, along with a crispy grilled cheese on a little plate. Your food, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, I forgot to ask. Leo, would you like a cup of coffee? He was drinking coffee with Theo, so let's do it. Yes, actually, I think I need one. Ollie nods, rising from his chair again. Rofi? No, thank you. I don't drink coffee. I didn't think so. Yeah, can you imagine this guy after a shot of espresso? Think about me every night, no, isn't that sweet? I guess so. So you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's that me espresso. A truly frightening thought. Wow, you two are full of them today, huh? Laughing, Ollie heads back over to the coffee machine, grabbing me a mug on the way. As soon as I have a hot cup of fresh coffee to go with my delicious meal. What excellent service. We try our best. After a few hearty sips, I ask the main question on my mind. So, how are things with the den? Pretty much settled, right, Rofi? Yep, between the five of us, we were able to clean things up pretty quickly. I think once again of the glass-strewn floor and the ripped chair cushions. That's kind of surprising. You guys even fixed a window? Mostly. Artemis has some plywood at his place that he let us borrow. Though, Theo did say that you probably shouldn't sleep there. The den doesn't hold heat well anymore. Oh. Well, that's okay. But I can help you move your stuff whenever you like. Just let me know. You're more than welcome to stay in my room, Leo. I will accept your offer. I will accept your freaking offer! Ollie speaks up, turning slightly red. To be honest, I haven't even considered moving anywhere else. That little room was so cozy and comfy, and Ollie was there. If you don't mind, then yes, I'd like to. I don't mind at all. Aww. Rofi's warm blue eyes sweep over the two of us. Then I guess it's settled. I'll carry the air mattress. Ollie, would you mind getting Leo's bags? I can do that. Hey, whoa, hold on a minute. I've hardly even started eating. Rofi freezes, already halfway out of his chair. We can all just chill for a minute, yeah? And then once I'm done eating, I can help carry stuff upstairs. Okay. So get a load of this. Me and Ollie were talking, right? And it turns out he made some of the software I use at work. I mean, it's not like I made it myself. I'm just one of the programmers. Still, though, isn't that neat? What did you say earlier, Ollie? I thought it was really profound. Ollie knees his claws together, looking more embarrassed by the sentence. Well... Rofi and I wait patiently, the silence only interrupted by the clack of my spoon. I think it was something like... We're all more interconnected than we realize? Today's world can feel so isolating, despite, or maybe because of the ubiquity of technology. But even if it's through work or through a friend of a friend, we as people are still linked to one another. Those threads are still there, even if they're just become harder to see. Or something like that. I think you're totally correct. Those threads are still there, even if we lose track of them. Sometimes they're just waiting for you to pick them back up. Right, Leo? And gentle warmth blossoms in my chest. Right. This is really cheesy, but despite everything that's happened lately, I'm glad to be sitting here at this table with you two. Me too. Me three. Honestly, we've lucked out. I'm not sure there's any other people in the world I'd rather spend this time with. Rofi looks at me then with those wide blue eyes. I'm reminded of summer evenings, looking into those same eyes, hearing the same voice speak similar words. I know what Rofi sounds like when he's being sincere. He means it. I can tell he really means it. The sweet moment is only slightly undercut by Rofi attempting to steal the last bite of grilled cheese off my plate. With a practice movement perfected years ago, I swat his paw away. Hey! Ollie's bright laughter fills the air once again, and the warmth in my chest heightens. You three are so sweet. Theo's deep, unmistakable voice echoes from the doorway. Hope you don't mind my saying that. If anything, I'm the one who lucked out. I know it's selfish of me to say this, but having you all come stay with me has been the highlight of my year. Aw, Theo! We can come back to visit any time, you know. Ollie nods. The city doesn't even have to shut down. We can just come over for dinner. That sounds grand, and we'll see what else decides to crash through the window. The joke rolls off his tongue with surprising ease. I had expected him to be way more upset about it. Speaking of, good afternoon, Leo. How are you feeling after last night? Afternoon, Theo. I'm doing much better. Much, much better. Like night and day. I presume Rofi filled you in on your sleeping situation, right? Yeah, it's no big deal. I'm just here with Ollie in his room. Theo nods, a twinkle in his eye. I thought you might. Why does everyone keep saying stuff like that? It was so obvious you two were low-key hardcore flirting at the bar. Also the fact that he stayed with you by your side in his room while everyone else cleaned up. Oh my god. Why does everyone keep saying that? Fucking dumbass. Think! Alright then. Let's get your room all set up. Again. Unless you'd rather finish lunch first. Nope, I'm all done. Let's do it. As expected, I end up carrying nothing. Theo grabs the already deflated air mattress and Rofi and Ollie snap up my bags before I can protest. I could get used to this if I'm not careful. Just like the first day here at Theo's house, we all crowd into Ollie's room. Theo starts setting up the air mattress while Ollie made space for my stuff. Why do you want this bag, Leo? Rofi holds up my toiletries bag. You know what, you could just give that to me. I think I'd like to take a shower. Oh, sure. He hands me the bag with a sly expression. I guess cats don't really clean themselves with their tongues after all. On the other side of the room, Theo lets out a cough. Clearly a poorly disguised bark of laughter. No, we do not. And you know that already. Just a little joke. I am a little racist after all. Hilarious, Rofi. I say, mirroring his words from earlier. Thank you. Enjoy your shower, Leo. Grumbling good-naturedly, I grab a change of clothes and head towards the upstairs bathroom, playfully slamming the door behind me. Naturally, after I take my silly dramatic little exit, I see that the door to said bathroom is currently closed. Figures. I step forward, intending to knock, when it suddenly opens and Hunter steps out. Oh shit. Is he okay? Well, maybe he's not. His usually chipper face is so drawn and empty that it catches me fully off guard. The facade is gone, y'all. The facade is gone. What happened during the whole repairing situation? The heavy pause lasts only an instant. Please don't put your facade back on. Shit. God damn it. Oh! Oh, hey Leo, how you doing? I, Sorry, I'm all done in there if you need it. Yeah, I was gonna take a shower. Go right ahead. It's real nice and the water pressure here is great. His usual tone is back in full force. If I hadn't seen his expression just moments ago, I would have thought everything was totally normal. You okay, Hunter? Me? It's you I'm worried about. The whole business with the window was nasty. Yes, it was pretty upsetting, but I'm much better now. I just need a good night's sleep and a hot meal. Well, hey, that's great to hear. Hunter moves to lean against the door frame and winces sharply, quickly readjusting himself. Oh yeah, because he got injured in his route. He fucking sprained, like, I think it was his leg or something. Well, don't let me keep you. Enjoy that shower, okay? We'll talk later, promise. He gives me a pat on the shoulder and walks briskly back to his room, shutting the door behind him. And just like that, I'm alone in the hallway. Considerably more confused than I was 30 seconds ago. It'd probably be better if I actually asked him for help earlier instead of Ollie coming in. You know, like his route. I guess I'll get the hot water running. The shower is another sort of luxurious. Large, comfortable, and clean. The water turns hot at once, and I think whatever gods exist for a good water pressure. I crank up the heat and step inside, sighing as it hits my still stiff shoulders. Under the steady steam and spray, I can feel the final clinking terrors of the previous night wash away and flood down the drain. I stand there for quite a while, not even bothering to check the time until the room is thick with the mist. For once my mind is perfectly still. If only it would stay that way forever. No such luck. One of the great sorrows of life is that you eventually have to get out of the shower. As the last few drops drip down from the shower head, I think of Ollie. I think about the fact that I'm moving into his room, not even 3 days after meeting him. He said he had never warmed up to someone as quickly as me. The opposite was true as well. Never before in my entire life have I met anyone like him. As I pull the shower curtain back, I remembered the feel of his rough, scaly hand and the soft, supple palm underneath. I remembered the delicate way he held my paw and the slightest barest touch of his talons. His softly blushing face. His robin-egg eyes behind those thick frames. A small, ink-drawn heart etched with care into a post-it. You put me so at ease, Leo. I vigorously towel off my thick fur, throw on some fresh clothes, and step back out into the hall. When I re-enter his room, I find him waiting for me. Hey! He looks up from his jam-packed computer screen and gives me a small wave. Hey, what you up to? Just getting my dailies. I can stop though if you want. Nah, you're fine. I'd appreciate a chance to just sit and scroll for a bit. Cool. He gestures at the bed. You can take your old seat again, if you like. I won't need it until it's time for bed after all. I think I'll take you up on that, thanks. I saw once more into the now familiar cushions to pull up my phone. After all the noise and conversation of the day, a little scrolling is just what the doctor ordered. Our parallel play lasts for quite a while until the last straggling sun rays fade and night falls once again over the frozen city. Eventually, both of our phones buzz. It's Hunter in the group chat, a silly selfie with a plate of pasta. It's dinner time, folks, if you're interested. I look up at Ollie right as he does the same. You interested? Not really. Me neither. I kind of figured I'd snack tonight or just sleep through till breakfast. I stare at Hunter's selfie. His smile is warm and easygoing. Hey Ollie. Hmm? Is Hunter okay? He turns away from the computer screen and rubs his chin thoughtfully. I'm not sure. Artemis told me he hurt his arm helping Theo move the branch. He was real quick to deny it, but seems like something shifted in him then. I heard Rofi gave him a quick checkup, but I don't know what he found, if anything. Artemis didn't want to pry. That's fair. What made you ask? I quickly relate the story of me and Hunter in the hall earlier. Honestly, I've noticed that too. In just little moments, here and there, when he thinks no one is looking. That smile of his falls right off his face. Not that it's written out smile, of course, but the gregarious way he throws up the veneer again once he knows there's someone watching. Ollie shakes his head. I'm probably overthinking it, but there's just quite a difference between those two hunters. I think of the dull blankness behind those golden eyes, and how quickly and startlingly they lit up. I know what you mean. We sit in silence for a minute, phones and games forgotten. What about Theo? He seemed very cheery earlier today. Looks like he's taking all this well. Yes, better than Artie and I thought he would. At first he was pretty frazzled, but I think having the other three boys there kept him anchored. I'm really glad you suggested waking them up. I scratched the back of my head, embarrassed. In all honesty, my head felt like it was caving in and I just wanted the conversation to be over. Well, we needed to shut up anyway, and it was a great idea. One that none of us would have had on our own. I would have been too anxious to even knock on their doors, and Artemis thinks he can do literally everything by himself. Does sound about right. And of course, Rofi and his medical training were a huge help. I felt a lot better about the whole thing knowing he was there. He's pretty impressive overall. I don't think I could ever do the kind of work that he does. He seems so light and airy when he's with us, but I can very clearly picture him in the emergency room, fully locked in. I wouldn't. If anything ever happened on my watch, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. I wouldn't be able to bounce back. I'm not sure I'd be able to either. But anyway, all this shit's out the thought. I can see why you two were such good friends. You fit well together, despite how different you are. You think so? Yes! The easy group you slip into when you talk, the fun little ways you poke at each other. We just had a lot of practice, I guess. Though I gotta admit, I was surprised at how easily we picked it back up. Like you were never apart? Yeah. It reminds me of me and Artemis a little. Though I think the two of us are way more similar than you and Rofi are. And of course, we weren't childhood friends. I'm pretty sure we would have hated each other as kids, though Artie doesn't agree. I'm glad we met when we did. It was right on time. We fall into a comfortable silence once more. A much longer one this time. Punctuated only by the quiet hum of the winds and the quieter hum of Ollie's computer. Leo, can I ask you a question? You can let me know if it's too big or too abstract. Of course. Do you think everything happens for a reason? Yes. I like to think so, yes. I like to think there's some meaning in all the chaos. Some explanation for all the miracles and tragedies that happen every day. It's better than the alternative. Ollie nods contemplatively, clearly deep in thought. Why do you ask? Sorry. A shadow passes over his face, and the dino drops his gaze, claws twitching fiercely. I know big silly questions like that can be off-putting. People don't usually like when I bring them up, but I just... In his downcast eyes, I see a parade of dark scribbled out faces. One by one, scornfully turn their backs. When it's 3 in the morning and I can't sleep, these are the things I think about. They seem important, you know? Like, why else are we here if we don't wonder about things like this? If we never look beyond what's right in front of our nose, are we really living? He casts a wistful, anxious eye over his computer setup. If from the moment we're born, we never leave our house, we think our house is the whole world. Damn. He's really fucking hot. Ollie quietly rises from his chair to stand at the window. With a reverent serenity, he places his palm on the frozen glass. Especially in weather like this, when all the world slows to a crawl, And save for fallen snowflakes, the very air is still. This, more than anything else, feels like a time to reflect. He hesitates, teetering on the inflection point. A light push away from opening up, or retreating inward once again. I'm listening, Ollie. Ask away. Okay. Another CG? Begin. Do you have any memories from when you were a baby? Do I say yes? Because I feel like saying yes probably might reveal some things. I don't know. Oh my god. Listen, it's kind of hard for us to remember anything as a baby. Sometimes people just don't have that, like, type of brain capacity. No, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything before I was 5. It was like my mind was like just blank, and then I turned 5, and then I was 5, and then I started getting like a conscious or something. I distinctly remember, like, one of the first things I remember was they were gearing me up, getting me ready to enter kindergarten for the first time. That was the first thing I remember. Okay, anyway. Yes. Yes, actually, and I know that's not common. Are they happy? Sad, or neither? You know what? Leo has some shit in his life. Let's do some happiness, okay? Or neither. Does neither feel too good? Let me save. I can't say there are any emotions attached to them, really. Just basic stuff. Moving or crawling around, looking at things, stuff like that. Do you think you'd be a different person if you didn't have those memories? I don't think so. No way. They couldn't possibly be that important. Sometimes I think we are born with this incredible simplicity. We hunger, we thirst, we feel comfort and pain and all the things in between. And we feel love. We feel it in the way we are held and in the way we try to hold. The way we use our little fingers to hold onto whatever we can. And there are no thoughts attached to those feelings. No complex motivations or ambitions. It feels like we lose that simplicity so quickly. It feels like we lose it before we are even capable of comprehending loss. And in no time at all, we are fully grown adults. We still hunger. We still thirst. We still feel covered in pain. And love. But now all those feelings are wrapped up in thoughts and obsessions and compulsions and expectations. And sometimes those thoughts get so loud and so insistent that we won't eat when we're hungry. We can't feel comfort for all the pain. We won't love because we are scared. Our hands are larger and stronger now. We are far more capable of holding on, but we choose to let go. Sometimes I think we would all be better off if we stayed so simple forever. What do you think? I disagree, because the whole point of humanity is that we are all like different. We're all different, but we have camaraderie in our differences. Being simplistic means stagnation, and stagnation is not good for anyone. We exist to mature, to grow, to evolve into better versions of ourselves, into an idealized version of ourselves. So yeah, I kind of disagree. I understand. Temporarily. Would you say you are a happy person? Like, happy in the moment, or like... Because I still think, like, Leo has, like, some sort of, like, depression or something. But, I'll just say Yes, I would say that. In the grand scheme of things, I am. Why do you think that is? Because I have no real sadness. Because I'm happier than I used to be. This is going to sound dramatic, but most people don't actually know what real sadness is. They feel disappointment, or annoyance, or oftentimes only inconvenience. They have no idea what true loss feels like. Nihilism, hopelessness. Those static forces that anchor you to the earth, that keep you solidly grounded, watching everyone else fly high above you. I know how that feels. So I know right now that I feel happy by comparison. If that made sense. It does. It makes a lot of sense. What about you, Ollie? Would you say you're a happy person? Not really, no. Why not? Well, lots of reasons, really. Overall, it's pretty simple. If you think of my mood and outlook as a set of scales, it's just that one side is weighted down more. Sorry, that metaphor made a lot more sense in my head. Let me see if I can explain what I meant there. No, I think I got it. If the scales are tipped one way, you're happy. Yeah, and if they're tipped the other way, I'm sad. Well, unhappy, maybe not sad. People tend to treat happy and sad as opposites when I'm not convinced they actually are. But regardless, it just feels like my particular set of scales is broken. Like I could pile tremendous weight on the right side and it will still lean to the left. So, when your scales are tipped the wrong way, what motivates you to keep going? Ooh, I would have said pure spite, honestly. I'm not sure, but people happy, hope for the future, prosperous success, my friends and family. I don't. Yeah, no. All those seem so superficial. We say stuff like that, like pure spite, hopes of success, everything. And while yes, we can still cling onto those, I feel like we're not really sure about like what drives us to move forward from all this. Ollie, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no fucking idea. So far, I just do. I just keep going. And I have no idea how much longer that will last. What about you, Ollie? Where does your motivation come from? That's a tough one. I'm not always sure. Most of the time, I think it's my anxiety. Oftentimes, I just have so many urgent thoughts and emotions that need addressing right this very moment. There's no time or room for apathy. But when that fades, in those rare moments where my anxious brain is silent, I see potential. Everywhere. I see what the world could be. And I want to live long enough to see it blossom. Like flowers rising up from the snow. With that in mind... Who the fuck are you? Who is this guy? Who is he? Who is you be? Do you think you're capable of great things? Yes. Why do you think that? Because everyone is. These are the most like narcissistic answers ever. Because I did really well in school, because I'm the smallest, most talented person I know, because I've heard it my whole life and internalized it. Everyone is capable of great things. No matter your circumstances. And honestly, what does great mean anyway? Being famous? Making lots of money? Amassing influence and power? Being a great world leader usually just means you have the biggest army at your disposal. No. I don't think doing any of that makes you great. I think being great means having the most positive effect possible on the largest number of people. Which means everyone can do it. It's not easy, but even one person can change the world. Ollie? Do you think you are capable of great things? Not particularly. I'm never going to be some big shot professional, whatever. Never some captain of industry or world-altering philanthropist. I just don't have the drive. I don't have that spark that pushes people like that forward. Well, usually it's generational wealth that makes captains of industry and big shot professionals, but I digress. Given my many shortcomings, I think the most that I am capable of is modest success. Years of working a quiet, steady job and then a simple, decent retirement. If I live that long. That doesn't sound too bad to me. No, me neither. I think people's answers to that question are incredibly interesting. Mainly to gauge their definition of greatness. Whether it means money, fame, power, influence, beauty, knowledge, wisdom. This next question may seem unrelated, but do you think the world we live in is fair? No. No, not at all. Not even a little bit. How often in life do we actually get what we deserve? Any of us. You see it every day on the news. People lose their homes, their families, their children, their very lives. Do they deserve that? Is every loss they suffer justified? Of course not. What do you think? No. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, this world we live in is not fair. And I don't mean the natural world. The boundless nothingness beyond the stars. The ever-expanding universe has no concept of fairness. Fairness, justice, even basic morality. At both macro and microscopic scales, none of it matters in the slightest. Fairness is a concept we created. That's a good quote. We built it, much like we built our houses, our communities, and our nations. There is no universal capital J justice. And so by that logic, I say it is not fair that a handful of individuals hoard the wealth of the world. That wealth determines everything. It determines who lives in the warmth and who dies in the cold. It determines where you are born and how you are raised. How you are educated and what career path you take. Whether you live to see old age or pass before your time. Is any of that fair? To have it is to live. To lose it is to die. It's as simple as that. And I know, in my heart of hearts, that things don't have to be this way. We, as sentient beings, have come so far from the first campfire, from the first cultivated plot of land. We are living in an age of wonders, of miracles made real. Working together, we can twist the genome and touch the stars. This world doesn't need to be such a savage place. We can make it better. Look out for one another if we only try. After all, regardless of what we do, we're all headed back to the same place. Thank you. I'm living for the imagery. Do you ever think about the fact that you're going to die? Yes, he was! Yes, he was! Oh my god, that was the whole point. You were just waiting to die. He felt that every single day. Oh my fucking god. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Me too. And not just you, but everyone you know. Everyone you have ever known or will ever know. Everyone you have ever heard of. It's the one thing we all share. Does the thought of that scare you? That's a loaded question. That's really complicated. Like, listen. There's a quote from this movie called Imaginarium that I really like. And it's from the perspective of this 70-year-old woman when she says, when you get older, you don't fear death. You wait for it. Then after a while, you hope for it. Do you know why? Because losing your mind before you go is much worse than dying. It just puts it into perspective. Well, in that context, one of the main characters is having like a dementia-induced coma. So yeah, I don't know. It's a complicated question, especially for me right now. How would Leo take it? No, not really. Ollie? Does it scare you? Depends on the day. I think most of the time I do what everyone else does. I forget. It's so easy to forget that it's going to happen. Especially when you're young and healthy. Have you ever seriously thought about your legacy? What is a legacy? It's put the seeds on the ground for a forest you don't get to see. What you'll leave behind when you go. Yes. I have, actually. I'll be honest, right now it's not much. And I'm not sure how much that would change by the end. Judging from the question, I'm guessing you thought about it. Quite a bit, yes. Not long ago I had an epiphany. Realistically, my time would come at any moment. And if that's the case, if any day could be my last day on Earth, if any time I waved goodbye to a friend, that could be the last time I would speak with them. I want my legacy to be one of kindness and joy. I want to be as caring and as compassionate as possible to everyone I come in contact with. I want to help them in whatever little ways I can. I want to help them live, help them thrive. Because, well, why else am I here? Why else are any of us here? In the end, that's the only thing that matters. This game just got really philosophical. I think I made the right decision in saving Ollie's route for last. I know I said that before, but I'll say it again because it really made you think. Like, he's so deep. He has to be a Virgo. He has to be a Virgo. Let's be for real. He has to be a Virgo. Let's continue. With a small sigh, Ollie slumps back down into his chair. His eyelids flutter closed, then laboriously open again. I'm sorry, Leo, but I don't think I can stay awake another minute. I swallowed the lump in my throat, eyes shimmering and stinging. I wiped them roughly with my sleeve and rise from the bed. You're fine, Ollie. It's past time you got some sleep. Here, give me your claw. He extends a claw without even opening his eyes. I pull him upright, lower him into bed, and tuck him neatly under the covers. I'm sorry for talking your ear off. I would have listened to you talk all night. I say, without even a sliver of doubt. Still, I got way more serious than I meant to, so I'm sorry. I let out an exasperated chuckle. No more apologies, Ollie. Please. If you wake up again before sunrise, I'll be here for you. I can already hear the soft sound of his snoring. I turn to look out the frosted window and make eye contact with the silver moon, peeking shyly over the blanketed clouds. I'll be here for you. No matter what. We did it, everyone! We did it! We're caught up! Until Rofi's route comes and updates. Ah! Support them! Now! Ollie is the best character in this game. it's not because I fucking love him and I think he's attractive, I think he's hot and I want, and like, or whatever. But he's like really fucking deep. He makes you think. Even if you don't necessarily agree with the things he says and stuff, you have to admit that he brings good points. He is so thoughtful in his thinking, and he's so thoughtful with his words and everything. It's a wonder he gets so misconstrued with everything he says, because people are so simple-minded at times that they don't want to think, they don't want to get out of their bubble. It's painful. Like, more people should really talk about this game. More people should discuss the characters in it. This game really needs to be big. I need it to be like bigger than anything Echo Project has ever put out. And that's Echo Project. Like, you can hate as much on Ad Astra as you like, but you gotta admit, they do have some good stuff. Like, obviously, Echo's a staple. Glory Hounds is really good, although I haven't played it in a long time. I really need to get back to it. But, and Arches? Arches is amazing. But goddamn, Promises to Keep is, like, shooting right up my rates of one of my all-time favorite furry visual novels. You know, like, alongside Chenya and Where the Demon Lurks. But yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for clicking on this video. If you enjoyed watching this, you could give it a like and subscribe if you're really interested. I'll leave a link to the game and the creators' handles in the description below if you want to go play this for yourself and go support them. I'll also leave a link to my Twitter and Bluesky in the description if you want to go support me on those platforms. And as always, I'll leave a link to the visual novel I made with my friend Sid the Red Panda in the description called When You're Mine. Please go support it. It means so much to us if you do. And if you do play it, if you like it, please rate it on itchio and comment down on it. We love reading them. It really does make our day. And as such, thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!